Some of you may recall that we rolled out this first month student survey a little over a year ago. And the point of this survey was to try and provide some opportunities for feedback and some targeted supports early on in our WVS learners' experiences. So, this is a very short survey. It's only 2 identification questions and then 4 experience questions, plus an optional comments field. And we send this survey to students around their 1 month enrollment date, and we'll talk more about what this looks like on the student end. But here are a couple of screenshots that I wanted to share to show you a little bit about what this survey looks like. It's not the whole survey, but it's pretty close to the whole survey. This is something that we send through Genius via the help desk folks. And so this is not something that you would be putting in your courses or anything like that. This is really something that's automated on our end to trigger around kind of that 4 to 5 week period where a student has been enrolled in their course for about a month. So you can see here, we've got a couple of identification questions, not specific to the learner necessarily, but trying to narrow down what course are you taking and who is your teacher for the course above. And it's those 2 pieces that really helped us start thinking about how can we start to get some of this data into your hands as a teacher so that you can use that to reflect on your practice, especially thinking about those early days with your learners and how we're providing supports. From there, they do have 4 experience questions, and I'll show you all of the prompts on this next slide. But just FYI, it's really just those 4 questions, and you will receive data about 2 of them. We also have a field where students can optionally share further comments, and then they do have the opportunity to provide their name and email address if they would like a reply to their feedback above. And we've had some students take advantage of that. You may recall in the past year or so, you might have been looped in on one of those replies from our admin team. So here are the 4 prompts that students are responding to, and they basically pick on a range from 1 being, I strongly disagree with this statement, to 4, I strongly agree with this statement. So those are the 4 prompts. You can look those over. And a couple of other things to note about this survey is that we don't require learners to complete it. We highly encourage it. They do get 1 month student survey requests for every course that they are enrolled in. So that can be overwhelming if they're enrolled in 4 or 5 courses and they might end up skipping some, but we do hope that they reply for at least some of their courses. And then we also can take that information now, and we found a way in the background through our automated processes to share some of this data back with you. So what's going to happen starting this year is that you will be provided a weekly email summary of the responses to the 2 teacher-specific questions, which are these 2 right here. So how are your students feeling on knowing different ways to contact you for support, and how are they starting to feel about these first few weeks with you as their teacher and helping them feel successful with their online course? So pretty generic statements, but we do hope that you're able to use the general feedback about these 2 stances to really reflect on how are you doing in terms of reaching out to your learners? Are there any areas of concern or trends that you're seeing where you might want to make some adjustments in your professional practice? Or also patting yourself on the back if you're getting some great feedback from learners that in general they feel very helped and supported. That would be wonderful as well. A quick note that going back to these questions, so we do rely on learners to select the correct course and teacher, and it's really this teacher field that ends up being the way that we pull in your email address and can identify who is supposed to receive that data. So it is possible that there could be some learner error, but that is unfortunately a possibility with any way we've structured these surveys, and we really hope that with the improvements we've made and with Smartsheet having drop-down options, that we will see minimal errors on that end. So what we also wanted you to know is that we will be reviewing survey responses on all of these prompts as well. And we do consider in general the data that we're receiving about how are students feeling in the first month in terms of, is this a positive experience? Are they feeling like they can get into their course pretty easily? Are they having issues? Are they enjoying the course? How are they feeling about support? Things like that. So just know that we are also looking at these survey responses as well and considering what that data can mean for our team. If a learner does request specific follow-up in the survey, so relating to this question, if they say yes and they would like someone to reach out to them, just know that that does go to our administrative team and that you may be included on a separate reach out follow-up. So some of you, again, I think I noted before that you may have already seen some of those follow-ups over the past year. So those will definitely continue because we want to loop you in on any supports or questions that learners have. One last thing about the format of the emails that you'll be getting. So this data will be in email format only, and you will not have access to the Smartsheet itself to view any further details on it. So even though the email that you receive may have a note, that here's a link to the Smartsheet, if you click on it, you won't have access. And we also request that you do not reach out for Smartsheet access because we are going to have to say no to those reach outs. The other reminder that I think other folks have mentioned about Smartsheet is please make sure that you do not unsubscribe from these emails because that prevents our process from working and helping you get the information you need to reflect on how your first month is going with these learners. So we hope that this data is useful for you as you get off to a great start with your learners, and definitely let us know if there are any questions you have about how to interpret this data or ways that you can further support your learners and get them off to a great start.